Hello, and thank you for joining me once again on Word of Inspiration for Women. Today, I have a very interesting topic, and I would love to read your comments and read your views on this topic, which is Let Sisterly Love Continue. And it is based on a story taken from Genesis chapter 16, verses 1 to the end. It's the story of Sarah and Hagar, who was her maid. Now, there's a popular saying that women are their worst enemies and that women love to put down other women. And there's some truth in this because, this seems to have been happening right from Bible days, right from Genesis. So in the story of Sarah and Hagar, Sarah, who was married to Abraham, had been trying to have a child, but she was not able to have a child for several years, even though God had promised that they would have a child. Now, she decided that she was going to give her maid Hagar to Abraham as a wife so that Hagar could have children for her. She did this, and then Hagar got pregnant. And then when Hagar discovered that she was pregnant, she started having an attitude towards her madam, towards Sarah. And this displeased Sarah. And then she started treating Hagar harshly. And then Hagar ran away. And when Hagar ran away, she met an angel in the wilderness who asked her to go back and submit to Sarah and that everything would be okay, which she did. So I'm going to be looking at Sarah and Hagar and just comparing how these two women in two different positions, how they treated each other. And it strongly relates to how we treat ourselves today as women. And in this episode, we'll be looking at the story of Sarah, focusing on Sarah alone. Now, Sarah was Hagar's boss. She was her madam. She had authority over Hagar. So Hagar was under Sarah's care and protection. But then what did Sarah do? Sarah used Hagar for her own selfish purpose. And this happens a lot these days. Women who have other women under them. So it might be a maid, it might be an employee. They tend to use these people who are under them for their own selfish purposes. But we should remember that these people are under you. They trust you. They're looking up to you for protection. They're looking up to you to be able to help and support them and not to use them for your own selfish purpose. Now, Sarah also saw Hagar as competition. Because Hagar was able to achieve what Sarah was not able to do, Sarah, I think she got upset about this. She got angry about this. And she saw Hagar as competition, maybe someone who would take over her position. And remember that Hagar did not ask for this. It was Sarah who put her in that position in the same place. So women should try not to see each other as competition. But when you notice a fellow woman having something or possessing something that you desire, celebrate that woman, help her. Sarah could have encouraged Hagar. Sarah could have supported her through this pregnancy rather than treating her harshly, which is the next point. So women tend to treat themselves harshly. It's almost as if they are not happy to work with their fellow woman, and it could be for flimsy reasons, just because the other woman has something that you do not possess. In this case, Hagar was able to get pregnant, whereas Sarah was not able to do that. Some women treat other women harshly or unkindly because they feel the other woman is prettier than them, which is silly, or because they feel that the other woman, maybe if their employee is married and then the boss is not married, then she gets upset about it. Or if the employee has got children and then the boss doesn't have children, then she gets upset about it. So women should try not to treat themselves harshly. Celebrate your fellow woman. Celebrate your fellow woman. And then the next thing, again, I think, is that Sarah was envious. Sarah was envious that Hagar was able to achieve something, like I said earlier, which she wasn't able to do. And this envy usually leads to competition. And so she was looking for a way to get rid of Hagar. So envy makes you want to discard people. And that's why, sometimes you find out that women, it's so difficult for them to work with each other because envy rises up in one person, and then the person is looking for a way to get rid of the other of the employee or of the maid just because of envy. Now, as a boss, you need to mind how you treat people, especially your fellow women. One thing I've come to discover is that women have a special place in God's heart. God always fights for women, which is a topic we're going to discuss another day. But we just need to be careful. We need to learn to love ourselves, to encourage ourselves, and to help each other. And if we remember, it took Sarah a couple more years before she was able to finally have the child that God promised. I suspect that Sarah's blessing, that blessing of a child, was delayed because of her attitude. I think if she treated Hagar nicely, if she brought up Hagar's child, if she was kind towards her, if she was helpful to Hagar rather than treating her in the way she did, I suspect that her blessing might have come faster, but who knows? So we need to be careful. We should try not to be bitter towards other women because they have something that we don't have. Everyone has their own path and everyone has something that they are good at. No one is perfect. The woman who you might be envious of has something that she needs, which you might have, but you don't know. So we just need to be careful how we treat each other, so we don't end up being bitter, and so we don't end up having our blessings delayed. Next time, we're going to be looking at the story from Hagar's angle, seeing how employees or women who are under authority of another woman, how they usually act towards their women bosses. Please join me again next time on Word of Inspiration for Women. I hope you have been blessed by this. And like I said, I would like to see your comments and your views. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.